Hey guys, it's me Kevin, and today on this week's episode of the Tuesday Talk, I will be discussing some plans in regards to the AFL All-Stars game. So, before 1999, there used to be a series called the State of Origin in the AFL where all the best Victorian players in the AFL would play on one team, all the best players from South Australia and all the best players from Western Australia. And the teams used to play off to see who is the best state. They discontinued it in 2000, well, with the exception of 2008, due to the 150th anniversary of the AFL. They played a Victoria v Dream Team game, Dream Team being made up of West Australians, South Australians, and anyone from any other state. And in 2020, they revived State of Origin due to the Bushfire Appeal. They were trying to raise money for the bushfire disaster that happened in Australia that summer. And basically, the best players from born from Victoria played off made up one team, and the best players from every other state made up another team. This time it was called the All-Stars. That State of Origin game was a huge success. About 54,000 people attended. It was pretty much a packed crowd, full capacity pretty much. And it was a pretty entertaining, high-scoring game. I mean, it was the All-Stars. They were ahead 105-96 at like three-quarter time, and then the Victorians just started kicking away, and they eventually won 154-104. So it was a result something along those lines. It was a quite entertaining game. There was a lot of goals in there, and while the defence wasn't really that great, it was still a very entertaining spectacle with a lot of run, a lot of skill, well, at least attacking skill anyway. So yeah, I think it was a huge success, and I think it should be brought back in 2021. Now, why I would suggest an All-Star game and not State of Origin? State of Origin is when Victoria, South Australia, WA and the Allies all play off in a competition. I mean, that could happen, but I don't think the AFL or the players would accept playing that sort of game. Reason being, you have to play 6 games. Not each team, the league will have to field about 6 games. And yeah, I don't think the players would want to do that, and it's just not enough time with each team playing 3 games. Yeah, there's just not enough time, and I don't think the players would want to do that. The All-Star game, on the other hand, can be played either at Marvel Stadium or another stadium every single year. It can be between Victorians, all the best Victorians in the country, because there's about 400 of them in the AFL, versus the All-Star. Versus the All-Stars. We can keep that team. There's about 400 non-Victorians playing the AFL. So Victoria versus the All-Stars, I think, would be a pretty good matchup. One half versus the other half, essentially. And you just play a one-off game on a Friday night, whether it's at Marvel Stadium, whether it's at Optus Stadium. It doesn't matter. I think the players would be more than happy to play a one-off game. I think they would much prefer the one-off than having to play 3 State of Origin games. So, yeah, I think for next year, the AFL All-Stars game should be played. And lastly, I want to talk about the Guernsey. So, for Victoria, it's pretty obvious. Navy blue with the white V. They can wear that all the time. For the non-Victorians, the All-Stars, I reckon what happened last year, they wore a white Guernsey with a golden A. I reckon they keep that if they're playing an away game at Marvel Stadium. But if they're playing at Optus Stadium, let's say, maybe it should be gold. Their Guernsey should be gold with a white A, given that WA's colour is gold. Or if it's in South Australia, maybe it can be red and gold, like red with the gold A, given that it's in South Australia and they're red. They could do that as well. I certainly would take that, but yeah. So that's how I think the Guernsey should be. So yes, next year in 2021, the Friday night before the JLT Community Series starts, there should be a Victoria v All-Stars game played. Whether it's at Marvel, Adelaide, Optus, wherever, it should be played on the Friday before the JLT. Hope you like this video. Please like, please subscribe, please comment on your thoughts on both the video and the topic. Please check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.